G'day, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jason.
And welcome to our Cape York adventure.
Yes, we're on an adventure of a lifetime for us. We've never done this before. We're heading down the Wenlock River. We're going to be doing 5 days on the river. Everything's in the boats.
Little tinnies, freshwater, fish like sooty, grunter, barramundi and saratoga. I can't wait to get started.
Well then, let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm Mark Ward. This is going to be our 5th year down the river, our 6th trip actually. But I used to live here in Weipa, and the guy that I fish with every year, Dossie, and myself, were both ambos here in Weipa. And we looked at this river, and it was something that we've been out here and camped on the river a lot. We've fished the salt end of the river heaps of times, and it was just a trip that we always thought about doing. And we heard about a group of guys that did it on jet skis one year, so we put in at a place on the old telegraph track called Morton, and we used to come down and pull out of this spot where we are here now called Billies Lagoon. But last year we did it from here down to a place called Stones Crossing. We cover about the top end of the river. We cover 90 kilometres of the river. Here we cover a bit over 70. We do it over 5 days, and we've got 4 boats this year. 3 boats have been down with us before. Got my brother who's been with us 3 times, a couple of guys that have been with us twice. And we've got the 2 Jasons with us this year. They're a couple of rookies on the river. But this trip is all about having a great time. There's a ridiculous amount of fish. There's good barramundi, saratogas, heaps of sooty grunter. And it's just about a heap of guys just coming down the river and having a good time.
Woody, you're on, Woody. Woody. I'll get it.
Where it come apart.
Nothing like a bit of last minute preparation just to get ourselves set for the trip.
Most important thing on the trip is making sure all your gear is fresh. That's why I don't rig up anything until I hit the boat.
Well, here we are, Wenlock, just about to depart Billies Lagoon. I'm Dossie. I'm in the boat with Mark Wood, and we're going to get amongst some serious fish. Going to go to a very remote parts of Cape York. We got some sat phones, bit of emergency gear, plenty of fishing gear, and bit of food, bit of tucker, the odd beverage here and there, and we're going to have 4 nights, 5 days of serious fun.
All right, let's go.
It's time to leave, and we're just witnessing what we've got to look forward to. In places the water's fast. Sometimes it's just too fast for the electric motor to get you out of trouble.
How far have you gone?
About 20 metres.
Check this out. We're cruising along the river, and Jason, oh look, there's a toga. So I've got a little beetle spin on, which is probably my favourite toga lure down south on the southern strain, and I thought I'd give it a go, and he just turned on it and just gutsed it. Nice fish. Yeah. There's 3 species I want to catch on this trip, and that's why I'm here, apart from the adventure. One was a saratoga, and I'm going to pop him back straight away. There you go, mate. Look at that. Sight cast toga, how good's that? One was a saratoga, one's a sooty grunter, and the other is a barra. That's 1 ticked off.
So what we're doing, we've stopped in the middle of the river to have a little cuppa with the boys. Wardy said, haven't seen you catch any fish yet, so we sat here and he said, can you catch me a barra? So with more luck than good management, a few casts, and there we go. There you go, Wardy.
More arts than class, I'm afraid, but I've got to give it to him. He done well.
And we're just going to sink this little guy. He's going for a swim. Later. And thank you, Wardy.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Enjoy.
Many more lunchtime swims to come. That's it. That's all we do.
That's a nice sooty, mate.
Alright, so one of the many target species is the sooty grunter. This is what the boys look like. They fight really, really well. I'm just gonna sit up like that. Now, these guys are real ambush feeders, so as soon as you hook them, the first thing they do is head for home. In this fast water, that's so much fun. They just grab that little ripple shad, just a little light jig head, just hopping it around. He's grabbed it, tried to get home, and there he goes. Get back and tell his mates don't eat the ripple shads. That is one of the dangers of going down a river that's been in flood, is that there's logs and trees and debris up high, and the last thing you want to do is bump into them and have that come and land in your boat with you, because that wouldn't end well, I reckon.
What are you doing, Metcalf?
Oh, just a human lure retriever, you know. With a live bait for the big guys.
How beautiful is this water?
Oh, magic. It definitely seemed to work a bit better in that sort of faster water. The fish has got to come out and grab it and make that decision.
Getting bigger.
It's just fallen out. It's a little owner jig spin. I'll show you that in a sec. There you go. Nice little barramundi. Just hop on that little jig spin. It's got a little plastic on it. And little barras just come and sucked it off the bottom, and nice. This is just magic. It's just an awesome, awesome place. Beautiful fish. Well brought up.
Straight on.
Done him on the way down.
Just on the drop again, yeah. They're liking them as they're sinking, aren't they? That flash and blade.
That little blade spinning away in there. The teaser's that little plastic that's with it. Seems to be a little spot. Sometimes when you find a little spot, it's pretty tricky on this sort of trip because we're moving fairly quickly down there with the current. But if you do find one, you get one or two bites. Sometimes it's worth just sneaking back, having a bit of a cast in there. Put a couple extra casts, because that's about 4 or 5 casts and 4 or 5 hits and 3 fish. So they're obviously congregating in that little area, which is pretty cool for us. Okay, that one on the drop.
Barra or sooty, you reckon, mate?
Oh, I think he might be coming up. He might be a sooty, I reckon.
I think he's staying down. He's pulling a bit, this one.
Yeah. Oh, he got me. I'd say. Oh,
He's out. You'll have to go hard for that bit.
Oh.
He's a good sooty.
He's a great sooty. Look at that guy there. He's swallowed that owner spin in there, jig spin. There's actually a few teeth in the old sooty. They're good, tough customers there. First thing they do when you hook them is head back home. Beautiful fish, good tough fish. Yeah. Well, mate, we might put you down on the other side of the log. Oh, there he goes.
Just working a little area here. Jace has just pulled out a cracking sooty, and my last cast in there I got a barra, so we're just seeing if there's a few more fish in there. Just park the boat alongside a little tree. I'm using a very similar lure to Jace. It's called a beetle spin. It's just a power bait ribble shad, 7 centimetre size on an 1/8 ounce jig head, and then I've got that wire frame with a spinning blade just for a little bit more attraction and vibration. And so far it's been deadly on the sooties and toga, and I just got my first barra on it, so I've got my trifecta today. That's what I wanted. There's a fish, got him on. He ate that as it was dropping. That's one of the beauties of them too, is those blade spinners they're dropping. It could be a barra, I'm not sure, mate. Little baby barra. He's dancing around out there. See if he wants to do another little dance. Oh, here we go. Only a little tacker, but it just goes to show there's a few fish in there. So, just a little fish. I'll just lift him in like that.
While we've had plenty of time for fishing today, the lure casting action is being broken by the faster running water through this fallen timber. At times there's no other way to push through this unless you get out into the water. Now, the deeper water is a place where you don't want to be for too long. Crocodiles are residents in the Wenlock. There's not as many crocs as further down the river, but the slide marks they leave here indicate they are pretty big ones. Manhandling the boat through the trees is all part of the day when you're travelling down the river. And if you can put the thought of a croc tearing you in half out of your mind, the water is actually cool and refreshing during the heat of the day.
Whew, that was a bit of an experience. We've just come through a set of rapids. Not running super fast, but there's all these rocks and sticks sticking up. It's a real handful with the electric and trying to manoeuvre through. And every now and then you can just squeeze in maybe one cast, and I got a good cast in and caught a cracker sooty. Sorry I couldn't show you because my hands were just too full with dodging sticks, ducking branches, and now it looks like we've come up to our first log jam, so we'll go and check it out. The boys are already there. What do we got?
Just got a log jam in the river, but Dossie and I got a bigger problem. We've busted our Minn Kota, just busted the bracket straight off the back of the boat. So we've got one thread that's going to work, so we're going to have to get some timber and space out the Minn Kota so we get just get that one thread working. Got a log jam in the river that we can't get through. Same spot we cut last year. There's a big saw cut in the timber that we cut through last year. But yeah, so we've got a few drummers. We took a few litres into the boat because we had no power, we had no electric motor, so we're just bouncing around as we were getting through, so we had no control of the boat. So yeah, this is where the adventure starts. So it's all not about fishing and camping. You know, we've got to get chainsaws out, we've got to get, the boys have got the gerber out, they're cutting through a bit of timber, and it's all about getting boats through, so fun begins.
The big wets up here will push a lot of debris and logs and that sort of thing in your way. It's going to make it difficult getting down the river. So having a good machete that you can chop up the debris, get out of your way so you can get on your way and catch some fish, At times the machete won't do, so that's when you're going to need a chainsaw or maybe some other cutting implement, because if you can't cut big wood out of your way, it means unpacking the boat, dragging the boat down the river and then packing up the boat again, and that's going to take a couple of hours of your day. So if you can negotiate the blockages in the river by means of cutting them with a machete or chainsaw, it's going to make life a hell of a lot easier.
I'm not going to go any further, mate.
When we get going,
Yeah, that'll be alright.
hopefully we get through here, but I think we're all right.
Let's anchor rope it to the brace. Watch out there, Dos.
Now, see if you can get your bum back and I'll start and get on the nose.
So you're going bow first? Just lift it. Once we lift it, we can slide. Yeah. One more.
Good tax.
Maybe not while he knows I'm coming. Goss. Bear? Oh yeah.
I'm Whitey. This is my second Wenlock trip. The end of day one now. We've just pulled up after a little bit of a difficult log jam. Not too bad, but we got through it in the end. Fish haven't been that hot today. It wasn't as big a wet season as what we had last year before the trip, so we're thinking that might be the reason. They just haven't been firing this section of the river, but it did liven up a bit in the arvo session compared to the morning, which was nice to actually get a couple of fish in. Then let's pull it up. We found a nice sandy bend here. We're going to pull up in after the hard work getting through the log jam. And hopefully tomorrow we'll come into a bit more of the deeper sections of the river. And it should be good. Hopefully we get a few more fish tomorrow, so that'll keep us happy.
Oh, what a wonderful day on the river. It was an adventure, so we've never been here before, so everything you see is new, and it was pretty awesome. We caught barra and we caught saratoga and sooties, tarpon, archerfish, and I even caught a catty. It was pretty cool. So the chainsaw's firing up. We're going to get some firewood, set up camp, tell some stories which may not be as quite as true as they should be, exaggerate a little bit, and yeah, do it all again tomorrow. Cool.
Beef korma. We've sautéed some beef on a hot camp oven, thrown in a bit of onion, a bit of garlic, a little bit of korma paste, some sweet potato, some normal potato, a little bit of water, cup of water, and it's now going to cook down. I might just shovel some coal on top though, just to give it a little bit deeper.
Oh, I concur.
You concur?
So you want some more water under there or what? Oh, some more coals under? Yeah. Right.
Is that Billy still up here?
Yeah.
The power station.
We're not been too many camping trips where you get 3 paramedics on the trip with you, but Whitey's he's got a bit of a story to tell you how we did it. It's pretty heroic, but he's rolled his ankle and it's swollen up the size of a grapefruit. So we're just going to give it a bit of support and get him through the day.
On the trip, it's not just about repairing the boats at times. You also have to repair yourselves. But no, just last night they told me I should tell a story about how I heroically saved Matt from the crocodile. But no, it's just silly, just getting out of the boat. And I've stood on a bit of debris It looked like flats, like nice flat sand, but when I stood on it, part of it gave way and it's just rolled the ankle. And just waited till this morning to strap it up and we'll be good to go.
This morning we've just walked away from camp a little bit, and before I get too close to the water's edge, I'm going to tie my lure on. It's just a little Berkeley Frenzy popper. So I'm just going to use a loop knot to tie that on. I've tied a granny knot and then just 3 or 4 twists and back straight through that granny knot. It's a pretty easy one to look up, loop knot. And that just gives your lure a much better action. And like all knots, just moisten that up before you pull it tight and that's ready to go. I'm only using light tackle. I've got some 20-pound leader on there, going down to some 6-pound braid. The fish here are mostly small, and it's certainly sporting when you hook one in this fast-running water around these snags. Let's see if I can get one on the popper this morning. A great-looking little spot just in there between a log and a stick. So I'm just, no big cast, just a little pendulum swing like that. I'll bleep him out. Yep, there we go. Oh, he's just around that snag there, little sooty. Get back up here. Whoa, jeez. I'm like a sooty ninja. Woo. Oh, nice little sooty. Got mud everywhere. You'll notice I'm nowhere near that water's edge. Staying safe. And there we go, nice little sooty. He just creamed that popper. Each spot I try, I just give it one quick work, like maybe 2 casts max, because these fish are really active, so we just want to keep cruising the bank, looking for an active surface bite. There's one. Oh, saw him come onto it. I'll pause that. Oh, there he is again. Oh, they got it. He's got it. Oh, he's got me done. He's only a little fish, but I can't go any closer to that edge. It's super slippery after the rain. He's out. He only looked like a tiny fish. That's the thing that I've found, but sometimes you'll get a little school of the sooties that come up and they might be a tiny fish, and then the one that actually grabs it is the big one. Look at this, it's a sooty with a mustache. Put that there, keep my rod out of the sand. And you'll probably hear this fish grunting. You might hear that grunting noise. That's probably how they got their name. So look at that. Great little fish. They're just so stocky. Even though that fish is small, he's just a solid ball of muscle, and that's what makes him so strong. Pop him back down there. We'll get rid of this. And just while I was standing here, I noticed a really good looking spot right over on the other side, and I've just got to put a cast into that. So not all the fishing is from close quarters. That fish was only 4 or 5 metres away where I hooked it, just a little pendulum cast. No need to make big casts. I was even, yesterday afternoon, I was even catching fish, just dropping my lure into the water like this and blooping it. It was just unreal to watch them hit it. But you'll notice there's a snag on the other side over there, and that snag creates a bit of a back eddy. The fastest running water's running through here, and there's nothing wrong with fishing fast running water. The fish do love it. Over on the other side, but there's a great looking snag with a lay down. So what I'm going to do is cast up current and let the current take my lure into that snag before I bloop it. So I'm actually going to land this to the left of that. There it is, it's in the water. It's a great looking snag. There's got to be a fish on that. Maybe not. There we go. Got it. Oh, I missed him. He ate it. I pulled out of him. I'll go back for one more try. Geez, he followed that out a long way before he had a go. Pop that little frenzy popper back out there, right on that spot. A lot of times they hit it the second it lands on the water. They're pretty tuned into what's going on top when they're going to take surface. Any little bugs, insects, things like that, little terrestrial creatures too, I'm sure they cop it when the sooties are focused on taking top water stuff. Just walking the banks of these creeks, it's amazing what you find. And look at this thing here, it's a big rocky structure and it's got all these little pebbles that are sort of in the mudstone, I guess you'd call it, and it's left this big thing, so it's been eroded probably over millions of years, but you know, it almost looks like it's made out of concrete. It's just incredible. There's quite a few of them along the bank here. You could imagine like this in flood, there's 14 metres of water on top of where we're standing now, so the water's just pouring through here, just carving this out, making all these trees fall in and allowing us, I guess, this running water to wash down some 40 k's on this trip down to the point where we pull out. It's pretty incredible. Flood debris up in trees and stuff like that, it just blows your mind. You wouldn't want to be there when that's happening. Even though the river's down a little bit now, there's stuff on the ground. It's like a weedy sort of stuff that's left, and if it's on hard sand, it's just treacherous. I've been falling over on it all day. But check out the yak tree. I call this one the yak tree. A lot of the trees have got it, but it's like it's growing hair. It's just all that weed that's been left in there after all the flood. Just incredible, this place. Oh, we've just entered a back eddy. Perfect. Can slow my lure right down now. Oh, it's in the stick. Get out. Oh, that's a sooty, I think. Now the fun begins. I got the cast into where I wanted it. Oh. He's over that stick there, just trying to work out the best approach here without getting eaten by a crocodile. There's no fish is worth the risk. I'm going to try and drag him over the log and hopefully the lure doesn't hook. Ah, that ends the surface session for the morning. We only brought one lure, one set of pliers, but what a lot of fun. And you never know what you're going to get. Like I think I just got hit by a saratoga on the same log, and yesterday I also had some barramundi on the lures as well. So these freshwater places like that, they're just insane for the top water action. Make sure you give it a go. Time to go home and re-rig.
I'm Joey, and this is my second Wenlock trip, and I'm just going to quickly explain what we take in our boat. So basically we just take a 3.6 metre manacraft, I just borrowed from mate, and in that we have a dry box with all our food, cooking gear, all that sort of stuff. This year we decided to take a fridge instead of an esky. We normally take a fair bit of beer to have a good drink as the trip goes on, and a couple of bits of spirits and that sort of thing. Take a battery charger to charge up our batteries, because we've got one for the electric and one for the fridge. And also to do that we have to take our 2 kVA generator, which is comes in quite handy this year. It's only about 14 kilos, but seems to be charging everyone's batteries pretty good this year. So no, it's a good trip to do. It's definitely worth it.
Day 2 on the river. We're just about to head off. We've had a great camp overnight. A few little incidents yesterday, some broken bits, heaps of fish. Mate, fantastic. In the middle of nowhere, when you wake up in the morning, all you hear is birds. There's no planes, cars, phones. I love it. Day 2, let's go. Sometimes it's worth the effort. We had a good cast in there as we went past really fast. A nice sized barra flashed and came out and rolled right in the clear water, so I could see the whole sizing. It was a nice fish for these areas, so sometimes it's worth a little bit of extra effort. We'll find out in a sec, but if we can get him to come back. He might be a little gun shy. He might have moved, so I'll have a little shot a bit deeper in the back. Yeah. Oh, toga.
Toga. Might not have been a barra.
Not have.
We're going to have a little bang here in a second, mate. We've just...
Little bang?
Little bang.
Oh, look at that. That was my day 2 target, because I never got one to the boat yesterday. Today, we're about 2 minutes in. Whoa! And that was my Saratoga, just like that. I've already had a sooty. Saratoga, beautiful. This river's just amazing. It just throws up these things at you, and it's not just the tranquility, but the fishing's pretty cool.
Guess what? I haven't even tied a lure on yet. I've been too busy driving the boat through the rapids. These rapids fish really well, so we'll keep on going, and it looks like it slows down. I might get a chance up around the corner.
Or not. So at the moment I'm fishing this little owner jig spin. It's got a little blade, getting a lot of hits. I think a lot of the times they're actually hitting the blade, but caught a few sooties and toga on it, and I've caught archerfish, and what we're going to do now is show you exactly how I'm using it. So what I do is I pick out a spot where the current's running into the tree. I like to cast above it so it sinks a little bit. Because it's rigged weedless, well snagless, I've got the ability to let it sink a bit closer to the snags. I keep in contact with it. I just let it drop closer to the bottom. Give it a little jig so that blade and tail flash and carry on. The fish seem to love that vibration and that flash. And you're doing a bit of speed. There's so many places to cast in. There's no way every little nook and cranny's had a cast thrown to it. Yep. Oh, come out of there. Oh, these sooties go so well for their size. Oh, he's got me in the tree there. I can feel that on the line. He's coming. There he does. How nice of you, buddy. You're pretty mean. He's probably a bit upset with me. He thought his breakfast was being laid on. Oh, get him up. He's a nice sooty. He's a cracker. You can see that when he's hit that that jig where the plastic was, he's even torn the tail off it. I felt a little tap before he hit it. But they're just mean. They got some really nice chompers in there. This is just perfect country for them. They're so tough. And away he goes.
These fast sections can be a lot of fun. Yeah, oh, there we go. Because you always hook fish in them. Oh, he's in that snag back there. I can see him. He's underneath it. And now he's wedged in it. I could just get the boat. Oh, he's come out. He's out in the clear now, and we're in the clear. It is so much of a handful. Like, I love to fish them because there's all this fast water, all these snags all the time, but it's a handful with trying to drive the boat and steer it around these snags that are coming up. It's a cracking sooty. The thing with this fast water is that the fish don't have much time to react, so you're fishing the lure fast, and any of their feeds, any of their meals, they've got to be fast and snatch it quick, so that's why we seem to do so well here, I think.
There's no shortage of fish structure in here, is there?
Oh, everywhere. Everywhere there's trees underwater.
Oh, here's another nice sooty, this fella. He just crunched it right in under the tree just there. Jace. There he is. Actually one that didn't swallow it all the way down. He gave it a couple little taps actually. It's just pinned him in the top lip. Little Power Bay ripple shad again does the damage. I'll let this fella go. Yeah.
Chasing fish in this type of country is a lot of fun. There's snags, rocks and all sorts of stuff. The water's carved out deep holes from centuries of running across the Cape. The shallow areas seem to fish well for sooty, grunter, saratoga and small barra. A lot of this action comes from the fact that in this type of environment, they need to be quick. They get out, snatch a feed and get back home. We still have a bit of this faster water to go before we reach some of the longer, deeper sections. 4 stones crossing. We're hoping the deep stuff produces some bigger barra. But for now, we need to navigate through some more fast stuff.
While you're not fishing all the time, the challenge of getting the boat through tricky areas makes the journey more fun. Not knowing what's around the next corner, what the next challenge may be, that's what makes this an adventure.
Jace has just had a really good fish on the popper. and I just saw a nice barra come out and he whacked me with it, and I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have another go at that because we're moving so quick. So we pulled the boat up and we started walking along the bank, and we're going to go over and have a cast. What we just came across is the tail and slide and claws of a rather large crocodile. I don't think we'll have a cast in this bank. We'll move on. Alright, we're coming to the end of day 2, and of course we've had a great day. We've come to the end to a massive log jam. So the boys have gone like a bull at the gate and they're going over the middle of it, and it's pretty heavy, so they're actually pushing the boats up and over the top of this log jam. And if you have a look at it, it's a bit of a mess, but you know, we're normally in camp by now, but right at this minute we should be in camp, we should be there. We've got to get through this log jam, the next log jam, and then about 2 k's downstream, so it might be a late setup for camp tonight. But that's all right, it's all part of the adventure.